I've been through virtually every variation you can have. And certainly the couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, that I lived partly on what you would call welfare, were a hugely formative experience in my life. And it left me with several abiding feelings about how we talk about the poor, how we discuss them, what it feels like to be poor, which can be a humiliating experience in ways well beyond those you may imagine if you've never been in that situation. And all of that experience, though this is not an autobiography or a memoir,
right,
could be used in this book. There are other things in this book, of course, that mean a lot to me. There's a lot about teenagers again, and there's a lot about parenting. There are parents in this book who are making virtually every kind of mistake. I feel much more sympathetic towards some than others. And some of them muddle through, and there is redemption, and very real redemption in one case where a very damaged relationship heals. So all of these issues are things that I think about a lot, and this novel was a way of exploring them.
From Levi Higgs, you have mentioned your greatest pleasure involving the publication of your new book is getting to have conversations with fans about your work, themes, and ideas involved. My question is there anything that you hope will come to light, or anything you hope will be stimulated in the public's awareness now that the Casual Vacancy has been published, which is similar to a question that I had in my stack. Is this a political novel for you?
It's political in the sense that it deals with themes that are broadly political. I mean, I think that I don't think it's a black and white novel in the sense that I have sympathy. There are people in this book whose political views may not be mine, but I have sympathy, certainly, for some of their points of view. I mean, it would take a very strange person to be delighted that Crystal Wheaton was in your child's class when she's punching that child's teeth out, literally. You know, and I think an adult conversation about the issues surrounding a child like Crystal would acknowledge that. You know, there's nothing wrong with feeling protective towards your own child. So I can see many of these issues from both sides, and I try and explore those mindsets in the novel. Equally, I think that there is one parent in the book particularly, Tessa, with whom I have much sympathy, but I think she's taking a liberal outlook on her son, who's rather damaged and becoming incredibly destructive, far too far. That's a boy that's looking for some boundaries, and she's too frightened to give them, because she's too frightened, I think, to look at what's actually going on in her family. So, I don't think one belief set has all the answers in any way.
Can he be redeemed?
I think that Fats can be, but Fats was quite far down the road. Fats was really trying to talk himself into being a psychopath.
He is just
he's
a few steps from the shooter.
He's a very complicated character, of whom I'm very proud. He behaves atrociously, cruelly, and vindictively, and yet I understand Fats very well.
And he's still seductive to the reader. For a long
But he
time.
is actually, again, my husband, who was obviously my first reader and for a long time my only reader, he said to me, I feel guilty that I like him. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly the feeling I wanted in the reader, because you know that he is being a prize shit. But
he's so cool.
He's cool, and he has a couple of traits. One of them is humor. However cruel his humor is, he's funny.
Yeah.
And he's cool. He has a kind of self-possession that is always quite magnetic. It's something I certainly don't possess, and that's probably why I find it quite compelling in other people.
You strike me as cool.
That's a really nice thing to say, but...